Hi, folks. I've just decided that I would shoot a video for you guys in regards to a program that I'm using to record my screen. And this allows me to do some interactive things, to communicate with students directly, to talk about lessons and worksheets that we're using in a way that I feel is reasonably effective for this time. And who knows what's going to be going on or what our what's going to be mandated from districts during this time. But this does allow some decent communication. And this tool is free. It's for PC or Linux. Chromebooks, I have no idea. I don't use Chromebooks. I only use PCs. And so if you have only a Chromebook, then this doesn't apply to you, and I'm sorry that it doesn't. But hopefully there's some other resources out there from some other people that can help you out. If you're still interested and you want to keep watching, then check out this video. I found this great program called Hypercam2. The great thing about Hypercam2 is it is free and it's really simple, and it also just does a great job and isn't buggy. So that combination of things makes it pretty powerful. I'm going to go through a couple of things with you. I'm using this to record right now. I would love to just pull up the application and show it to you, but while it's running, it disappears, and you can't see it. You can only see it when you stop. So what I did is I took some screenshots. Let's open them up, and I'll kind of show them to you one at a time. What this program looks like. Let's see if we can make this bigger so you guys can see. Notice that. Right here you've got this nice screen area selection. So if you use this program and you open it up, you're going to see a way of selecting a window size. And if you click this button, a little box will show up around your screen. You'll be able to set different screen areas in which to record. I use the default, but you can select it to be a little bit bigger or smaller. And that works really well. And otherwise, you don't have to change any of their settings. They're all fine by default. The other thing that I noticed that was really critical for me was that if you look here on the second screen, this is the second tab here, hotkeys. The start and stop recording is done by this function F2. It's the F keys that are on top of the keyboard, on top of the number keys. Because the program disappears as soon as you start recording, you have this nice little start recording button, but if you start it, you can't stop it without hitting this F2. So just remember, F2 starts it and F2 stops it. And of course, while it's going, you can always pause it, F3, and then resume later, and it will resume on the same recording. It won't make two separate recordings, which is kind of nice. I haven't tried the F4 for the single frame shot. I haven't attempted that. Maybe I will in the future. Maybe you can do it and let me know how it works. So next thing, if you go to the third tab on this thing, you can see the AVI file. So basically, it records to a file on your computer, and then you can use that file to upload to YouTube. What's really important about this is that you need to use some kind of video compression, because otherwise the video file is going to be giant. You don't want it to be that big. So I recommend that you use Xvid. Some of you folks that are using this, downloading this, will already have Xvid on your computer, so it'll automatically show up here if it's installed on your computer. If it's not installed on your computer, you just have to download it real quick. Let me show you where to go for that. If you don't have Xvid, you can go ahead, open a tab in a browser, and just type in Xvid. Notice that it's like the first thing that comes up. Xvid MPEG-4 download. Isn't it interesting too that just by the way, look, MPEG-4. We just had an assignment in computer science about this very topic. So MPEG-4 download right here. The top link. That's what you want to hit. This gives you two ways of doing things. If you have Windows, you can click either of these links. If you have Linux, go ahead here. I'm not going to explain how to install Linux. If you've got it, you know how. But either one of these mirrors will work. You click it, and it's going to download down here on the bottom left. You click and open this exe, and if it asks you to install any weird virus software or anything, uncheck that. Otherwise, it's completely ad free and free to use. So don't worry about any of that. Once that's installed, there's no program to open or anything, but you do want to close down your Hypercam and then open it back up. And when you do, you should have at that point the option to select the XVID MPEG 4 codec, and I would make sure that that's always in there. Once that's selected, once you don't ever have to select it again, it'll be your default. For sound, it's important that you make sure that you have something that's going to be recording the sound. Mine was set up by default correctly. Yours probably will be as well, but just make sure that the check mark is to record sound. And I just have the default sound recording device. If you pull this menu down, if you have multiple different microphones on your machine, those will pull up and you can select the right one. Finally, the last tab that you might see, or the second to the last tab, the penultimate tab here, is options. And options allow you to do a few things that, to be frank, I just haven't even done. You can record the cursor, you can add starburst when mice are clicked. I haven't done any of that. I haven't found a need to, but you can experiment with that, and if you find it to be useful, I'd appreciate to hear back from you. But that's it. That's pretty much it. So basically, if you hit the F2 key, it'll start. You hit the F2 key again, it'll stop. And there you go. Oh, one last thing. It's going to place a file somewhere in your computer, and you'll have to get to that file in order to upload to YouTube. So notice that on the third tab, the AVI file tab, there's the location. And you can change this location to whatever you want. Although I did find that when I changed the location, I did have some problems, like the program didn't like it. So I just left it alone. So I would kind of advise, if you were doing this, just leave this location alone. Probably the best idea to avoid any troubles. So anyway, I hope this is useful to you. If it's not, no big deal. I'm using it. If it is, great. I'm happy to save you a little bit of time and trouble. Thanks, and I hope you guys are doing okay.